Is Steve Kerr going to stay with the Golden State Warriors, or is he going to possibly go into ESPN broadcasting? Let's dive in.
ThaAuthenticTake, the real, no fake. ThaAuthenticTake, yeah, the real, no fake.
Well, while there's a lot of questions going on with the Warriors, what the future is going to be, it's been circulating that possibly ESPN is trying to poach Steve Kerr into broadcasting, which obviously they're going to go after him and be very lucrative. But it gets me to think that if he would leave the Warriors, I think he just would want to live off the fat of the land and not go into broadcasting, have to travel where he didn't want to travel and things like that. And last week, Steve Kerr met with the Golden State Warriors high up brass to where I believe this week possibly they have another meeting scheduled. So you gotta wonder if this is gonna be in the conversation. Like, are you thinking about ESPN or stuff like that? When the Warriors got a lot of concerns. First, they probably want to settle on a contract with Steve Kerr. They gotta see if what they're going to do with Draymond because he has a player option. Are they going to keep Porzingis? Are they going to extend Steph Curry? What are their draft lottery chances? Because I see a lot of websites and sources that are really thinking that DeBonsta might be a Golden State Warrior after the draft. So I feel like there's a lot of upside for Steve Kerr to stay the head coach of the Golden State Warriors and ride it out with Steph Curry. And I just look at the possibilities, and I feel like this maybe leans Steve Kerr to go back to the Warriors, because I know it's a crazy notion, but I think the whole Klay Thompson, Meg Thee Stallion whole situation, I think there could be a possibility that Klay Thompson comes back to the Bay, comes back to the Warriors, because the Dallas situation didn't work out. Steve Kerr misses Klay, and I think it would be a real good reunion to get the band back together. And that would be another thing that would really lure Steve Kerr into staying with the Warriors. But as far as broadcasting, it's something that Steve Kerr has done before. He would get, good money, lucrative money. And if he's not just going to want to be home all the time, or he doesn't have, plans like a Doc Rivers, he just wanted to spend time with his grandkids and stuff. If he doesn't have something like that and has no obligations, then I think that ESPN and broadcasting could be a possibility if Steve Kerr is too stubborn in certain situations with the Golden State Warriors and what he wants, because he wants a multi-year deal, and if the Warriors don't give him that, I think he'll probably be comfortable walking away and taking the ESPN job. Is this real or fugazi? To me, I think it's real, because I think it's got to kind of compare to like the Tom Brady type money. Not as crazy because, Tom Brady's the GOAT of football, the NFL. But I think it's got to be lucrative because, Steve Kerr has a lot of championships as a player. He has 4 as a coach. His knowledge is really endless, and I think he would be probably one of in the recent history, most touted, prospects for a broadcasting analyst and things like that. So I think this is real. Is it time to hit the panic button? I think a little bit for the Warriors, because instead of it just being Steve could stay or he could leave, now there's actually another option. And if you're kind of wanting this coach back, I don't think that you want the coach having a lot of options to choose from. You want to be that main option. So I think the Warriors might be a little bit hitting that panic button. My authentic take of the video is that just what I was saying is that basically Steve Kerr has options now. He could retire. He could ride it out with Steph Curry, which I think he's got to be leaning to because the love and admiration that he has for Steph Curry. And I don't want to leave Draymond out of that, but even Draymond kind of felt unsure where he's going to be next year. So I think it's more to riding it out with Steph. But now there's another option with ESPN broadcasting, something he was comfortable doing. So I just think point blank that Steve Kerr has a lot of options. I think he's going to make his decision, pretty soon here, and I think he's taking his time weighing out all the options to see what is best for himself, his career, and his family. But what I think is, I think he's going to ride it out with Steph. I can't see him doing anything else besides that. But tell me what you think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. This has been The Authentic Take.
The authentic take. The real, no fake. The authentic take. Yeah, the real, no fake.